Hello and welcome back to another vlog in the life of me, a graphic designer in training. Alrighty, week 9, here we go. So if you remember last Friday, I started a brief which was to create a film brochure in honor of a director. So my director was John Hughes. So the event had to have a theme which kind of reflected the director's style, and that also had to be represented in the design. So I picked the kind of theme of 80s nostalgia, just because they had said that in the past people that had done John Hughes just stick to like the generic 80s like neon patterns and that kind of thing, so I kind of just wanted to step away from that a little bit. Going into Monday, I had a really clear idea of what I wanted to do, and I found a couple tutorials to help me get to that point, but upon actually doing those tutorials I found that they were very advanced, didn't really know what I was doing, so I kind of had to scrap that and rethink my whole direction pretty quickly. I decided to go in the direction of mimicking VHS tapes, so that kind of theme would be represented in the design style. So at the end of the day, after having to quickly rethink my whole design, I came up with this. I'm very happy with it. It's definitely one of my favorites so far that I've done. It's just a lot of fun, very different to my other stuff, so very proud of it, but I'm looking forward to being able to make it better because I have a feeling that will probably be one of the ones that goes in my portfolio at the end. So that was that. That night I also saw Isle of Dogs, a Wes Anderson film, which was great. He is superb, his directing style is amazing, and I've always been a fan of stop motion, so I would highly recommend seeing that film to everyone and anyone. Go see it, it's incredible. So Tuesday we were going to start a packaging brief, which I was actually really excited about because I'd be really interested to go down the packaging route of graphic design. So I'd picked to do candle packaging out of the list that they had given us, but little did I know that they were going to give us a demographic. So I was given bikies. I had to package candles for bikies. So I was not stoked about that. It was really hard, but luckily the atmosphere in the room that day was just like super chill, kind of silly, because everyone was just like mood boarding and thumbnailing and like getting the whole ideation process done before we actually started designing. So everyone was just like on the same page and just like, it was really nice. That night I went out to dinner for Thai with my friends Kriya and Kelsey. Kriya has just come back from Darwin for a little bit, so that was really exciting that I got to see her. It was super lovely. Thai was incredible as always. So on the Wednesday we finished our packaging. It was great. To be honest, I don't even know what I was thinking. Like, in the moment it was justified. I was trying to go for like these like messy organic scribbles with like bits of barbed wire and stuff, but it wasn't good. Anyway, I came up with this. It's alright, I guess, but it's definitely not what a bikie would want in a candle. I don't even think they would want a candle. That was why it was so hard. Anyway, moving on from that disaster. So on the Thursday we picked up a brief that we had already started in week 5, and it was to create a cooking app, which was to promote healthy eating for experienced chefs or newcomers alike. We had already laid out the groundwork on doing all of the demographic research and ideation process. Now we just had to design the app. Luckily we'd already done our wireframing as well, so it was really just a matter of us putting our design in there. So I kind of just like rehashed a color palette and design elements based on like the keywords that I'd gotten from the brief. So I came up with this. I was very happy with it. I thought it felt very fresh and fun, which was definitely what they were going for. Definitely another favorite so far, so I think I probably will include that in my portfolio as well. So that'll be good just to kind of get more time to go over it and just make it a lot better. So yeah, that was that. That night I saw The Jungle Giants with my friend Beck. It was an incredible show. The mosh was not. I got destroyed. It was so bad. Definitely one of the worst moshes I have ever been in, but the band was great. They were incredible. They have so much energy and passion, and it was an awesome show. Friday was such a good day. In the morning, our lecturers just taught us some really cool tips and tricks that would just come in handy during portfolio week if we ever got stuck and kind of just needed to have some cool design tools up our sleeve. So that was really fun, just to learn some random things that we didn't know about. We also looked over our past briefs that we completed and picked some if we didn't like how it had ended up, but we did like the brief. We kind of just re-mood boarded in the direction that we wanted to take it, so that come portfolio time we could show the lecturers those mood boards of like the direction that we wanted them to go in and see if they would be good enough for portfolio. So that was just cool to have that as well. Our lecturers also got us pizza for lunch, which was so cool. So we had a nice pizza party during lunchtime, which was awesome, just added to the chill vibe of the day. And then we started to discuss portfolios. So we looked over print versus digital and just got to have a feel of what they would turn out like. We went over the pros and cons of each as well. It's really funny because I was talking to some past students and they've always said that, you know, like they really push you to go for a print portfolio, but they were like pushing us hard to go digital. In the end, I've decided to go with digital because if I want to add anything or I don't like anything in my portfolio after I graduate, I don't have to go through the painful and expensive process of printing. I can just whip it up and change it on the spot. So as well as that, I probably will have websites and apps in my portfolio, and the fact that I can make them interactive and into GIFs and just make it a lot more interesting to look at rather than just static print, and you can't really do anything with that. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but just the way that I want to go, I think it'd be a lot more beneficial for me to do digital portfolio. So that was that. This weekend I've just been doing homework and trying to get prepared for the rest of the week, just to make sure I'm getting ahead and not falling behind. Yeah, it's been very uneventful, just doing work. So that's been week 9. Stay tuned for next week. Tell me why I look like a grandmother. Alright, week 10. So on the Monday we were given a new brief to create an annual report for an engineering and building company. They said that they wanted it to be reflective of their ambitious and inspirational values and just reflect the personality of the company. So that day we spent our time doing mood boards and style tiles and just kind of figuring out the direction of the design that we wanted it to go in. And on the Tuesday we actually did that design because we'd laid all the groundwork the day prior. So I decided to go with a pretty bright colour palette just to reflect the brand values, and for my graphic elements I found inspiration from architectural blueprints, so I came up with this. I'm really happy with how it turned out. It was simple but effective, and I just had a lot of fun putting it together. So I think this will probably be another one that might go in my portfolio, considering I'm really happy with how it turned out. So that was that. That night I also saw my good friend Bo graduate. It was so lovely to see him all dressed up in his cap and gown. So yeah, it was just a really fun night. Wednesday was Anzac Day, so we had the day off college. So I spent most of the day working on my personal branding, just so that when it does come to portfolio time, I have an established kind of identity with a few things like color and type and all that kind of stuff. It'll also make doing a website really easy and cohesive as well, and just being able to tie in like Instagram and YouTube and everything like that into the mix just to make it like all one brand. Yeah, it'll just be super cool to have that already established, so it makes it really easy. On the Thursday we started prepping for our portfolios, so we were given pretty much a timeline of when all of our deadlines need to be met, with when our designs are picked and then finished and then put in the portfolio and then made into an online website. So just all of that stuff, we got it just broken down for us so we know exactly what's expected from us. We then started mood boarding how we want our actual portfolio to look and how we'll lay out digital designs versus mocked up physical designs and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that was just really helpful to have like a direction to go in. Now all that's left is just picking our designs that will go in our portfolio next week, but I think that all happens after we finish our last brief, which is coming up. That night I saw A Quiet Place with my friend Viren at this cute old little vintage cinema. It was such a good movie, so intense, lots of jump scares, but I live for that stuff, so it was such a good movie. On the Friday we picked up our city branding brief from a couple of weeks back, and we had to create a mobile website for that city. So if you'll remember, I had the city of Mumbai, but I wasn't happy with how the design came out. It didn't really match the brief and what I had intended in the first place, so I wasn't happy with it. So when it came to designing the mobile website for it, I wasn't really stoked because I had already like established that poster design style and I kind of had to follow through with it because that was the brand. But I kind of had a plan that I was going to re-mood board on the weekend so I could fix that up. So I kind of just did all of my wireframing and got it laid out on the Friday so that I could re-mood board on the weekend and then apply that new design style on the Monday when we finish it off. So that was Friday. On the Saturday I hung out with Becky and we went and got a new iPad. Since I decided to go digital with my portfolio, I needed an iPad to display it on. I could have borrowed it from a friend, but I thought it would be a solid investment for the future, especially with illustrative works and whatnot, so I decided to invest in an iPad and I got that on Saturday, which was super great. That night I also saw Harry Styles. Freaking love my life. He's so great. He did such a good job. The performance was incredible. As always, just put on a flawless show. It was such a fun night. Thought I was going to be a lot more fangirly than I was, but actually I did alright, except for when he played 2 One Direction songs. Kind of lost it a little bit, but that's alright. I'm allowed. It's cool. That brings us to today, Sunday. I've just been doing a bunch of work and mood boarding, like I said, for the city of Mumbai, so that I have a solid direction when I go back into class tomorrow and finish the mobile website. So yeah, that's been week 10. See you next week. Alright, week 11, here we go. So like I said last week, I mood boarded on the weekend, so I had a better direction of where I wanted to take my design on the Monday. So on the Monday, I just worked on that design all day, and the end product looked like this. I'm very happy with how it turned out. I think it definitely reflected what the brief had initially requested in the first place. They wanted it to be vibrant and reflect their progressive and dynamic nature, and I definitely think that that was better suited than the original design that I did. So that was Monday. I can't remember if I've talked about this in previous videos, but we've been working on a brief behind the scenes. We had to pick an organization or a company or just a brand in general that had an image problem, so they might be like outdated or they just might have a bad rep. We had to pick one and then put on an event that would change their image. So I picked the Red Cross organization because they just are so incredible in the work that they do, but they do have a really poor image. It's just really outdated, not modern at all, and compared to like Vinnie's or any of the other popular charities in Australia, they're just definitely not up to scratch, I would say. So I picked them and I decided to put on a festival for them. It would be a music festival that all of the artists would come in support and volunteer of the Red Cross, and then so that would ultimately reflect really well on the company and everyone would get on board and be like, yo, Red Cross is cool. There'd also be lots of like thrifting outlets and stuff like that. So yeah, it was just very Red Cross centered, but it was a festival to reboost their image. And our job was to brand that festival. So on the Tuesday we designed a poster for that festival. I'd already done all of my behind the scenes of the mood boarding and taking it in the direction that I wanted to go in. So I came to class prepared and just did the illustrations and sent out the poster on that day. Wasn't necessarily happy with how it turned out in the end. It turned out like this. I was happy with the color palette and everything like that, but I definitely didn't have enough time to do the illustrations on my iPad. It was all just in Illustrator and it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. So I definitely want to work on that more, but that was the general gist of the direction I wanted to take in, and now I'm just going to refine it so that it's up to scratch for my portfolio. Then on the Wednesday we had to create a website for that festival. So considering that I didn't really like how my poster turned out on the Tuesday, it was hard to kind of bring that repetition into the website if I wasn't already happy with it. So that kind of sucked that I had to create a website that was kind of based off the design that I had done prior. That's alright. Again, something I will fix in order to get it into my portfolio. But this is how the website turned out. There's a lot of points in it that I would like to bring to life and make interactive when I do put it in my digital portfolio, but at the moment it's just static. So yeah, that's how it turned out. Can't wait to make it better. So on Thursday we had the much anticipated meeting with our lecturers to pick the 6 briefs that would go in our portfolio. I went into the meeting knowing which ones I wanted to go in my portfolio, but ultimately it was up to them to say yes or no. Luckily they did pick 6 that I really liked anyway, so that was good. So these are the ones that we picked. I'm really happy with them. About 3 of them I probably will only have to make minor refinements to, but then the other 3 will require a lot of work, so that'll be fun over the next 2 weeks. For the rest of the day we just continue to work on our portfolios and finalize our logos, and that was Thursday. Friday was our first official day of just doing our own thing. Now that we know what briefs are going in our portfolio, we can go at our own pace and do what we need to do in order to get those briefs done. They obviously did run us through about how to time manage and tackle the day so that we're not just kind of fluffing around on one project and not getting anything done, because we ultimately only have about 7 days to get all of our briefs perfect in order to put it in our portfolio. So the Friday I decided to tackle one of my biggest overhauls first. It was for a magazine spread, which I wasn't happy with how the original one went, but I had all of these mood boards to take it in a new direction, so I worked on that all day. I've almost got it signed off, except that I need to make a cover for it now just to make it a little bit of a lengthier project. So I did that on the Friday, as well as just kind of wrapping my head around what was required of me, because I don't really work well if I'm like not fully understanding what I need to do. So I spent a lot of it just kind of like filing everything, getting everything in order, figuring out exactly what I need to do on each day, and just like prepping myself for the week ahead. So it was very intense, but it was very necessary. It was good, productive day. This weekend I've just been working on that cover for that magazine, so I can just get that all signed off next week, as well as trying to get my poster for the city of Mumbai done now that I have a new direction to take that one in as well. So yeah, I've just been trying to tackle my biggest projects that will like require a lot of work just out of the way, so I can focus on the minor refinements later on down the track. So that is my game plan. That has been my week. I'm going to end the vlog there. Next time you'll see me, hopefully I'm not in tears, because I will be in the midst of portfolio. But yeah, thanks for watching. As always, if you have any comments, feel free to leave them down below. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe and all that stuff, and I will see you next time. Bye.